And welcome everybody to a short little tutorial about quick brush adjustments in Photoshop. I am using Photoshop CC and I'm running Windows 10. So I don't really know about Mac shortcuts. You will have to do it yourself to figure it out. So without further ado, I will present these two things I want to talk about. Because sometimes just having those extra clicks you need to do slows down your process and really bogs down your work, and by using these two simple shortcuts you can quicken your work a little bit, a little bit by a little bit. It gets something done a bit quicker. So first thing is changing brush blending modes. So more and more I've been using different blending modes in painting on my brush stroke, directly on my brush stroke, not on my layers panel. So there is a quick, nice shortcut to change your blending modes. Okay, just give me a second. Okay, so there is a quick shortcut to change your blending modes on the fly, and that's shift and right click. So press shift, press right click, and you can choose your blending mode right there. There is no need to scroll, no need to all the blending modes get fit in the window if you're using 1080p resolution at least. And you can change your brush mode very quickly, and it's very handy. So let's pick a blue color here. So I'm just painting with blue. I want to make it multiply. So shift right click, multiply, and I want to do color dodge a little bit, so we're going to color dodge. So very quick way to change your blending modes and return to normal. You can also use just right click. You can also trigger your brush size from this menu. So you shift right click and go to edit brush. That's the right click menu. I don't know why it's there, but so this is really a great functionality, because you don't need to go in the menu and click and drag and select and scroll down, whatever. You just need to shift right click. You have all the modes right there. So I've returned to normal, and I can continue my painting. Let's make this dude here. He has a head here. Nah, I'm kidding, I won't draw this. Okay, let's delete. This is a very useful option, and I'm using it more and more. So, and let's switch to number 2. So point number 2 is just a few tips on changing size and opacity on the fly, with a special note for changing hardness on the round brush. So let's start with the custom brushes. Let me just select one of my custom brushes. Let's use Kyle's brush, as they're awesome gouache brushes. I have rotation enabled. If you're wondering, I have an art pen and I use rotation all the time. Okay. First, changing size of the brush is achieved by holding Alt and right click. You will get this nifty little thing that will show you the diameter of the brush and the opacity of the brush. You can move left to make the brush smaller, move right to make the brush bigger. So let's go with this size. Okay. Just a second. Okay. We're just painting with this brush size, and we need smaller. So Alt right click, drag left, smaller. Alt right click, drag left, smaller yet. Alt right click, drag right. We get a big ass brush. So that's very it's very handy, because sometimes you really need to change your brush quickly, and introducing all different brush sizes gives your work a little bit of dynamics. So this is a very handy option. Also, one quick advice: if you're doing this, press Alt, right click, and first drag to down, so you keep your opacity 100%, because there is the other thing that I'll need to talk about, and that's changing your opacity using this same shortcut. So we talked about changing size. Now we need to talk about changing opacity. It's there, and you use the same shortcut as for changing the size. So you press Alt and right click. But instead of dragging up and down, you drag. Instead of dragging left and right, you drag up and down. Even though most of us uses number keys to shift the opacity, sometimes you don't have number keys available, or it's just a mess, or you don't have a keyboard, like if you're using a tablet or something like this. So on the companion, for example, it's awesome because you can press Alt and right click on your pencil. So let's start with this. This is our full opacity size. Let's use the black brush. This is our full opacity size. So if we need to decrease the opacity, we move it vertically up. So Alt right click, moving up. It's slowly changing the value. It will probably change the size of your brush for a few pixels, but you can see that my opacity now is about 50%, and moves up still, and you get smaller opacity, and move up, smaller opacity, move up, smaller opacity. You can do that by number keys, but sometimes this is more handy. Okay, let's erase. So let's recap this. So let's start with a 100% opacity brush. Okay, on which language am I? Just give me a second. Oh, come on. Okay, so we start with full opacity. Alt right click, drag up to decrease the opacity. Drag up to decrease the opacity. Drag up to decrease the opacity. Okay, so this is very useful if you want to add a few nice intersecting lines or something. If you're building up a color, so you don't have to press the number keys. And since we're done with this, I need to make one note. There is a way to change hardness by using vertical movement on this menu. So Alt right click and up and down, but that only works with regular round brushes. So let's switch to a most simple opaque. It doesn't need to be a round brush, it can be a squeezed round brush like I have here. That's a normal brush that I made with just it's not completely round. So but you need the round brush to be able to get this effect. So it works like with the other brushes, but only instead of opacity it changes the hardness. So if I press Alt and right click, you can see the hardness going down and down and down until 0%. You get this. Now Alt right click and move down, you will see this red indicator. Let's increase the size a little bit. You'll see it. You'll see the edge becoming blurred and sharp. So that's a very useful way to change the size of your brush. Let's just return to the normal basic opacity, just basic opacity, the basic brush, just so you can see how it works with a regular round brush, without textures, without anything. So let's first make it bigger so you can see it better. Okay, so this is my regular flat brush with no opacity on it, and you can see it's very sharp. So we go Alt, right click, drag up, and you will see the edge fading, and go furthermore to 0% hardness. You'll see the edge completely softened. That's really good to maybe do some interesting shadows, because shadows are very sharp near the object, but they become softer and softer as you go further. So this only works for normal, regular round brush tip. It can have texture, it can have all the adjustments, it can have everything, but it needs to be a round brush tip so it has the functionality. So let's recap this and finish the video. So first thing is changing brush blending modes. Shift right click and select your blending mode. So shift right click, select my blending mode. Let's do overlay, but let's pick this color and pick this color. You can see it's doing overlay. And now shift right click, switch to normal. You have your normal blend mode. And this other thing, changing size and opacity on the fly. Alt right click, decreasing your brush. Alt right click, move right, increases your brush size. Alt right click, move up, makes your brush softer. Alt right click, move down, makes your brush sharp. So I hope this little tutorial, may I say an unscripted tutorial, will help you improve your brushwork a little bit. I will make more tutorials like this if you're interested. If you want me to talk about something, just comment. You can subscribe to my channel, because this is a new channel, and you can become my patron by going to patreon.com/Zhillustrator. I will put all the links in the description, and we'll see each other on some other occasion. Thank you everybody for watching, and bye bye.